Dear students, today we are going to study preparation, properties and uses of hydrogen isotopes. We know that there are three isotopes for the element hydrogen: protium, deuterium and tritium. For the three isotopes of hydrogen, we are going to study preparation, properties and uses. First we take protium, called ordinary hydrogen with atomic number 1 and mass number 1. So protium is the simplest atom without neutron. And the first preparation method is an electrolysis process. So this is not an industrial preparation. This is not a commercial or a large scale preparation. In laboratory, we can get pure form of hydrogen. So more than 99.9% of pure hydrogen can be prepared by this electrolysis process. By passing electricity, we will prepare hydrogen. We know that protium, deuterium, tritium will be present in the form of molecule. Single hydrogen atom is unstable, so they are present in the form of molecule H2, D2 as well as T2. Each isotope of a hydrogen will exist in the form of a diatomic molecule. So for preparing hydrogen molecule in pure form, we do this electrolysis process. For an electrolysis process, we need three components: cathode, anode and the electrolytic solution. So when we construct a cell, we take three components. One is cathode, another one is anode, the third one is electrolytic solution. The cathode in this process is iron. We take iron metal as the cathode. We take nickel electrode as anode, and the electrolytic solution will be water. You can take water as an electrolytic solution. A small amount of an acid or alkali will be present, or else we can take aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. So for constructing an electrolytic cell, we need three components: cathode, anode and electrolytic solution. Cathode will be iron, anode will be nickel, and electrolytic solution will be water with a small amount of acid or base. And one more, instead of water, you can take aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. So when electricity is passed, there will be chemical reactions. So two type of chemical reactions will be taking place. One is oxidation, another one is reduction. Oxidation reaction will take place at anode. Reduction reaction will take place at cathode. So overall, this is a redox reaction, as you studied in 10th. Oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. So oxidation is defined as a reaction in which loss of electron takes place. A substance will lose its electron. So the process is called oxidation. And what is the definition of reduction? A reaction in which a substance gains an electron. So oxidation is nothing but loss of electron. Reduction is nothing but gain of electron. Okay. So consider anode here. Oxidation is going to be taken place. The electrolytic solution is water molecule. Along with water molecule, small amount of an acid or base will be present. So in solution form, the substance will be present in the form of ions. If you take a small amount of hydrochloric acid in water, it is present in the form of H plus Cl minus. If a small amount of alkali is present in water, example sodium hydroxide, it will be present in the form of Na plus OH minus. Along with that, water molecule will also be present in the form of a cation and anion. So the process is called ionization process. Water molecule will be present in the form of H plus cation and OH minus anion. So in the electrolytic cell, we have taken iron as a cathode, nickel as anode. The electrolytic solution is water molecule with a small amount of acid or base. Now the water molecule will involve in ionization process. It is becoming H plus cation and OH minus anion. Now what process will be taken place in anode? Oxidation process will be taking place. So there will be loss of electron. So hydroxide ion present in the electrolytic solution will involve in oxidation process. Each hydroxide ion loses one electron. So two hydroxide ions present. So two electrons lost. This loss of electron at anode is called an oxidation process. Then the electrolytic solution is nothing but water. At cathode, there will be reduction process. Reduction is nothing but the gain of electron. Each water molecule is gaining an electron. So by gaining an electron, it forms a hydroxide ion with the liberation of H2 molecule. Now we are discussing about protium. Hydrogen with atomic number 1, mass number 1. Single hydrogen or a single protium is unstable. It will exist in the form of H2 molecule. So at ion cathode, there will be reduction process. Water molecule gains an electron. It produces a hydroxide ion and H2 molecule. Again, this hydroxide will undergo oxidation at anode. We will get oxygen gas along with electron. So the process will be taking place continuously. So I repeat once again, we construct an electrolytic cell with iron cathode, nickel anode, and electrolytic solution of water with trace amount of acid or base. Instead of that, you can take aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. At anode, there will be an oxidation. At cathode, there will be reduction process. So water molecule will be present in the form of H plus and OH minus. OH minus will involve in oxidation process by loss of electron. Each OH minus is losing an electron so that we get oxygen gas along with H2O formation. Then water molecule is gaining the electron. It liberates hydrogen gas with the formation of hydroxide ion. So at cathode, gain of electron takes place by water molecule. It is a reduction process. Now we can write overall reaction. We have oxidation reaction at anode. We have reduction reaction at cathode. Let me write overall reaction. So we have to strike out the similar terms on both sides, reactant side as well as product side. The similar terms will be struck out. So in the reactant side, we have two hydroxide ions. Product side also we have two hydroxide ions. In the reactant side, we have two electrons. Product side also we have two electrons. Then in the reactant side, we have two molecules of water, but in the product side, only one molecule of water. So what are the remaining terms? H2O molecule in the reactant side, hydrogen gas in the product side, oxygen gas in the product side. So we write the overall reaction in this electrolysis process. So during the electrolysis of water, we get hydrogen gas. So above 99.9% of pure hydrogen can be prepared by this electrolysis process. Then laboratory preparation. Like electrolysis process, we have one more preparation method. In small scale in laboratory, we can prepare hydrogen gas using this method. For that, we need a metal like a copper or zinc and so on. If any acid is added with metal, it liberates hydrogen gas with the formation of a salt. Hydrogen chloride is added with zinc. It forms a salt zinc chloride with the liberation of hydrogen gas. And large scale preparation or industrial preparation. For that we take methane gas. When steam is passed with methane gas at higher temperatures, we get a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So, steam is passed with methane gas over nickel catalyst at higher temperature, around 800 to 900 degrees Celsius at pressure 35 atmospheric pressure. We get the mixture of carbon monoxide and water. It is called water gas. The mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen is called water gas, syngas, or synthetic gas. So we have obtained this water gas or a syngas or a synthetic gas. The next step is the carbon monoxide formed should be converted into carbon dioxide. So in the mixture of carbon monoxide and water, so in the mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen, not water, carbon monoxide and hydrogen, the carbon monoxide should be converted into carbon dioxide. For that, what can be done? For converting carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide, we pass steam again. So in water gas, we pass steam again, which is passed over iron or a copper catalyst at 400 degrees Celsius. Carbon monoxide is converted into carbon dioxide. So oxygen present in the steam is nothing but water molecule in vapor form, gaseous form. So oxygen present in the steam combines with carbon monoxide, it forms carbon dioxide. So at last we get the hydrogen gas. So our aim is to prepare the hydrogen gas in large scale. First, with the methane, we pass steam. It produces water gas or syngas or synthetic gas. It is a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. The carbon monoxide should be converted into carbon dioxide so that we pass steam again with this mixture over iron or copper catalyst in a Swift converter at 400 degrees Celsius. Carbon monoxide is converted into carbon dioxide. Remaining, we get only hydrogen. So the reaction is called water gas Swift reaction. So all the carbon monoxide is converted into carbon dioxide. Along with the carbon dioxide, we have hydrogen gas. Now the carbon dioxide should be removed from the hydrogen gas. For that, we pass potassium carbonate solution. Potassium carbonate is having the capacity of absorbing the carbon dioxide. So when we take aqueous solution of potassium carbonate, it absorbs carbon dioxide, so it forms potassium bicarbonate. So by using this method, we can get hydrogen gas in larger quantity. So next isotope is deuterium. So deuterium will exist in the form of D2. We know that single atom is unstable. Single hydrogen or a deuterium or a tritium is unstable. So it is trying to be in the form of a diatomic molecule. So we have to prepare D2 molecule, deuterium molecule. The method is the same electrolysis process. We know that protium has more abundance, deuterium has less abundance, tritium is having very low abundance. So preparation of deuterium is the same electrolysis of water. So we are going to do electrolysis of water. So percentage of deuterium in the water is just 1.6 in 10 power minus 4 percentage. When you take water molecule, we are going to do electrolysis process. All the water molecule will be converted into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. So in the water molecules, abundance of heavy water, that means D2O. Okay, when you take water molecule, ordinary water molecule will have more abundance. Heavy water will have a very less abundance. So when you take normal water, it contains very less abundance. So 1.6 into 10 power minus 4 percentage of D2O is present. So we are going to do electrolysis of normal water. First, ordinary water molecules will be converted into hydrogen and oxygen. Next, heavy water, D2O, will give you deuterium. The third isotope is tritium. We know that tritium is a radioactive element. So using a nuclear reaction, we can prepare a radioactive hydrogen called tritium. So for that, we do nuclear fission reaction. An atom will be broken by a particle. So because of nuclear fission reaction, we can prepare the radioactive hydrogen called tritium. So neutron is bombarding the lithium. Neutron is allowed to attack lithium. So nuclear reaction will be taking place. Nuclear reaction is nothing but reactions mainly due to the particles present in the nucleus. When you take ordinary chemical reaction, reactions are mainly taking place because of electrons. Nuclear reaction means it is taking place because of the particles present inside the nucleus. So when neutron is attacking the lithium, it liberates alpha particle with the formation of radioactive hydrogen called tritium. So we have completed the preparation of protium, deuterium, tritium. Protium and deuterium will not exist as a single entity. Always protium will exist as H2 molecule, deuterium will exist as D2 molecule. The preparation methods of protium, deuterium and tritium is over. The properties, first physical properties. When you take hydrogen molecule, it is a colorless, odorless, tasteless, lightest and highly inflammable gas. So the physical properties, it does not have any color or odor or taste. Hydrogen molecule is the simplest one in nature, and the hydrogen is a very good fuel, so it catches fire easily. So hydrogen is used in the rockets as a fuel. Okay, so it is a highly inflammable in nature. Then H2 molecule is completely covalent in nature, so that it does not have polarity. So hydrogen molecule is a non-polar diatomic molecule, and hydrogen can be liquefied. For that, we can apply high pressure or we can reduce the temperature. Hydrogen gas can be liquefied under high pressure as well as low temperature, and hydrogen is a very good reducing agent. So in organic reactions, mostly we use hydrogen for reduction reactions. Okay, it is a very good reducing agent. What are the chemical properties of hydrogen? We know that hydrogen combines violently with oxygen to produce water. Think about the preparation of water. So in laboratory, it will be difficult to prepare water. When you mix hydrogen and oxygen, water molecule will be formed with the liberation of more amount of energy. So the reaction is an explosive reaction. So in nature, we are getting more amount of water molecules, but preparing a water molecule in the laboratory is a difficult one. So hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. The reaction becomes an explosive reaction. It liberates more amount of energy. So this reaction can be utilized in the fuel cells. So different cells are available. So we use battery, isn't it? So in watches, in mobile phone, so we use battery. So where chemical reaction will give you energy. So the chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. The same way, we have fuel cells. In fuel cell, the above reaction will take place. Hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. It provides energy. The energy is converted into electrical energy. So chemical energy obtained by a chemical reaction is converted into electrical energy in the fuel cells. Then reaction of hydrogen with halogens. When hydrogen combines with halogen, it forms hydrogen halides. It can form HF, HCl, HBr, and HI. So hydrogen halide can be formed, but each reaction is highly selective in nature. Hydrogen and fluorine diatomic molecules will combine directly and violently. So the reaction is an explosive reaction. So care should be taken while doing this reaction. Okay. So hydrogen and fluorine molecules will react violently. So the reaction is an explosive reaction, and this will take place even in the absence of sunlight. Even in dark condition, the reaction will take place. But when you take hydrogen gas and chlorine gas, the reaction will take place at room temperature in the presence of sunlight. In the absence of light, the reaction will not take place. It is a substitution reaction. Okay, we will discuss later. Hydrogen will not combine with bromine at ordinary temperature. At room temperature, hydrogen and bromine will not combine to form hydrogen bromide. So we have to heat the mixture. So when we heat, hydrogen combines with bromine to form hydrogen bromide. But reaction of hydrogen molecule and iodine molecule is highly a photochemical reaction. Solar energy is essential for this reaction. So with the help of sunlight, solar energy, the reaction is taking place. Hydrogen iodide formation is a photochemical reaction. So when we check hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen bromide, hydrogen chloride, and hydrogen iodide, the oxidation state of hydrogen is +1. Next, formation of hydrides. So instead of non-metals, hydrogen can combine with metals also. When hydrogen gas is combining with metals like lithium, sodium, it forms metal hydrides. With lithium, hydrogen forms lithium hydride. With the sodium, hydrogen forms sodium hydride. When we analyze the oxidation state of hydrogen in the product, oxidation state of hydrogen is -1. So this is called a hydride formation. Then the metal hydrides are very good reducing agents, especially in the organic synthesis. Many hydrides we use, like lithium hydride or aluminum hydride. Then combining these two, will get lithium aluminum hydride. So different metal hydrides are used as reducing agents in the organic field. So two important reducing agents are lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride. We can prepare lithium aluminum hydride by mixing lithium hydride with aluminum chloride. So this is a very good reducing agent in the organic field, lithium aluminum hydride. The same way, you take sodium hydride. So when it is treated with an ester of boron, we get sodium borohydride. Okay. So this is called trimethyl borate. Okay. Next, reducing nature of hydrogen. As I told, hydrogen will act as a reducing agent in organic reactions. When you take unsaturated compounds like acetylene, so you can take alkenes and alkynes, they are unsaturated in nature. In the presence of nickel catalyst, hydrogen will be added with this unsaturated compounds. So first alkyne is converted into alkene. Further reaction will give you alkanes. Okay. Compound with a triple bond, alkynes. Compound with a double bond, alkenes. Compound with only single bond, alkanes, as we studied in 10th. So hydrogen is reacting with unsaturated compounds in the presence of finely divided nickel It converts unsaturated compounds into saturated compounds. Alkyne and alkene are unsaturated compounds. They are converted into saturated hydrocarbons. So with this chemical properties of H2 molecule, hydrogen molecule is over. Next, chemical properties of deuterium molecule. Like hydrogen, deuterium is also combining with oxygen to form heavy water. It's called a deuterium oxide. Can also be called as heavy water. Deuterium combines with halogen, it forms halide. Like hydrogen halide, deuterium is also forming halide. And important reaction, deuterium exchange reactions. You take compounds containing hydrogen atoms. With this, if deuterium is added, heavy hydrogen is added, exchange reactions will be taking place. When deuterium is added with methane, protium will be replaced by deuterium. So this is called exchange. So ordinary hydrogen is exchanged by heavy hydrogen called deuterium. So 4 hydrogen atoms will be replaced by 4 deuterium atoms. We get the product CD4. Ammonia having 3 hydrogen atoms. All the 3 hydrogen atoms will be replaced by 3 deuterium atoms. So product will be ND3. Next, properties of radioactive hydrogen called tritium. So as we said, it is radioactive in nature. It emits alpha, beta, gamma rays. It is emitting a beta particle. When you take tritium, because of radioactive disintegration, that means because of a radioactive property, it emits which particle? Beta particle. So it is called beta emitter. This is the symbol of beta particle. And the half-life period of tritium is 12.3 years. What is a half-life period? When you take 1 kilogram of tritium, in this radioactivity process, 1 kilogram mass of tritium will be converted into 500 gram. So we take 1000 gram or 1 kilogram of tritium. Because of radioactivity, 50% is decomposed. So 1 kilogram of tritium will be converted into 500 gram of tritium. For that conversion, how much time required? It is called half-life period. Okay. Time required for reducing the concentration of reactant to 1/2 of its initial value is called half-life period. So tritium is a radioactive element or isotope. It is emitting beta particles. So this is beta emitter, and its a half-life period is 12.3 years. That means it will take 12.3 years for reducing its concentration to 1/2 of its initial value. Then uses of hydrogen. Hydrogen gas is used in many chemical reactions. You take Haber's process. So Haber's process is useful for preparing or manufacturing ammonia gas. So nitrogen gas is combining with hydrogen gas at an optimum temperature and pressure. For this Haber's process, we have to maintain suitable temperature and pressure, 380 to 450 degrees Celsius and 200 atmospheric pressure. The reaction is catalyzed by ion. The rate of the reaction will be increased by the catalyst ion. We get ammonia. So Haber's process is used for preparing ammonia, and ammonia is an essential molecule for preparing fertilizers and many organic nitrogen based compounds. Okay. So 90% of nitrogen produced in the industry is mainly used in the organic reactions or in the synthetic applications. When hydrogen is added with carbon monoxide in the presence of copper, it forms methanol. So when hydrogen is combining with carbon monoxide in the presence of copper, we get methanol. Methanol is an important industrial solvent. In industries, the important solvent is methanol. Then addition reactions. So unsaturated fatty oils will be added with the hydrogen gas. So addition reactions will be taking place. We have already studied. Alkyne is converted into alkene. Alkene is converted into alkane. So addition reactions are common, or we can say reduction. Okay. So unsaturated fatty oils combining with hydrogen, it forms saturated fats called vanaspati. Okay. The reaction will be catalyzed by platinum. Then in the metallurgy, hydrogen is a very good reducing agent. Metallurgy means extraction of metal from the ore. So when you take copper 2 oxide, from which we have to extract copper, we need copper only. So the reducing agent is hydrogen gas. So hydrogen is involving in oxidation. So easily it combines with oxygen. It forms water with the production of copper. So what is our aim? We need copper metal from copper 2 oxide. From copper 2 oxide, we need copper metal. So when hydrogen is used, it is behaving as a reducing agent. So it combines with the oxygen fast to form water. The same way, tungsten trioxide will combine with hydrogen. It liberates water molecule along with tungsten formation. Then atomic hydrogen and oxyhydrogen is used as torches. So these gaseous molecules used in the cutting as well as welding process. Atomic hydrogen or oxyhydrogen torches. Then as I told, hydrogen is a very good fuel. It catches fire easily. So liquid hydrogen is used as a fuel in rockets. Then I told about fuel cells. Hydrogen gas and oxygen gas will combine to produce water molecule with more amount of energy. So like an explosive reaction, this will take place. Due to the liberation of more amount of energy, it will be converted into electrical energy. So fuel cell provides electrical energy. Then we have a rechargeable battery. So metal hydride battery is available. So it is a rechargeable battery. So due to uptaking of H2 molecule, a rechargeable metal hydride battery is present. At the end of this lesson, we will study how this metal hydride rechargeable battery is working. So with this, we complete preparation properties and uses of protium, deuterium and tritium. Thank you.